Wow, what is my hair doing? Anyway, I don't care. Whatever. Alright. This is not a hairstyling stream. Alright. Whatever. I look like a super chess player. It's fine. Schumacher. 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 Good morning. You again? Damn, we must have a lot of games now. You're getting close to 300 barrier. 273 games only. Not many players have crossed. Not many players have crossed the 300 games barrier. Yesterday's game, yeah, your A4 is not. Unfortunately, it's not a theoretical continuation. So, the theory went out the window. But I played the best move with H5, which was interesting. All right. A lot of blunders later in Time Pressure. Asterbait, what's up? Pawn Master W. We gained a new follower. Alright, we also are hosting Weird Wednesday today. Unusual opening stream, 7+5. I really gotta get my stuff together here. Eventually we're gonna create some kind of overlay for the stream, but I'm so busy. Alright. Schumacher. Unusual opening stream. I really wanted to play black again. I had an idea. Let's just play something weird to start with. The squirrel. I don't remember what the squirrel is. Jack Young told me about it. We'll do a reversed what I wanted to do with black. Welcome live. Your favorite hairstyling stream. Cooperate or die. It's early. Even 11:30 feels early. I'm not a morning person. But we had a good tournament yesterday. I looked at all my games. Against Aldisto, the final position was a draw. I was worried. That was an interesting game. Aldisto deservedly winning the tournament. I didn't get a chance to look at his other games. Did you guys play against him? He's been in pretty good form. I don't know his actual identity or how highly rated he is, OTB, but he seems to be pretty strong. I would say he's NM strength. Right about NM strength. E6 Schumacher. We played E6. Casting doubt upon my knight A3. Doubt caster. But I don't care. You're welcome to take my knight. Welcome. Willkommen. I have a really weird German accent there. Willkommen. Yeah. Alright. So what do we do? Weird. Very weird. Dubious. Check. You don't say. We're keeping Schumacher out of the theoretical world. I think if Aldisto, I don't know, you know, he plays all these weird sidelines and stuff. I mean, if he played like real openings, do you think he would be stronger? Okay, I shouldn't say he doesn't play real openings. I don't like his openings. I don't like the Philidor. I don't like the Dutch, particularly. They are real openings. Like the wing gambit, though, that's going a bit far. He has a coffee house kind of repertoire. I was wondering if he would be stronger if he had more mainstream correct openings. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe the coffee house repertoire is advantageous, especially in fast time controls. I've certainly had trouble against the wing gambit. Alright, Weird Openings Wednesday. I started with I had an idea. That's always a bad sign, right? Check. Check, 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 check. Check, check, check. Trading queens, anybody? Got nothing. The big nothing burger. What is that knight on a3 gonna do? What have you done for me lately? Now here's the question. Which way do we recapture? If given the opportunity to recapture on d2. Yeah, I mean, this opening very unproductive for white. Yeah, I was hoping that Schumacher would be more aggressive and let me play black with the tempo up, but he played this very conservative. Funny, you play differently with black than you do with white. More conservatively with black. Knight takes, undeveloping. I was hoping you wouldn't do that. You know what a fan I am of symmetrical pawn structures. Sucking the lifeblood out of the game. If it's g3, it's for me. Good thing that knight covers the b4 square. Oh man, dude, you're just neutralizing everything. You're just trying to take the fun out of everything. How about bishop e4? No?
No!
Alright. Hegemony. K2 hegemon. You saw you on the homepage. Oh, you saw me. Good. That's why it's there. It's doing its job. hegemonic. I don't know why I'm like kind of in the mood to play with words today. Man, this guy has been really becoming a pain in my butt. 200 and what do we say? 73? It's this game 274 with Schumacher, but he's improving from all these games, I think. Thank you for joining us, K2 Hegemon. Thanks for playing on lichess. Alright, anyway, Queen F4. We have nothing. Today's stream is weird openings, and I tried something experimental, but Schumacher like sucked the life out of the position and then created a symmetrical pawn structure. Oh, God. So this is just like, I wish this game was over now. Let's just get it over with. I don't think that either side is significantly better here. He's playing very conservatively. This is not what I wanted. I mean, I don't play like d3, knight a3 to get a symmetrical structure. Boring game. I was hoping he wouldn't take on c4. I mean, if you think about it, when you go back to this position here at move 7, I mean, theoretically, black shouldn't trade the central pawn for the flank pawn away from the center, but he knew what he was doing when he did that. You're permanently their student. That's kind of scary. Like a feature on lichess. Aha. Permanently their possession. I don't like you having control of the open file. Wouldn't want to disrupt the hegemony of the position. I'm sorry for the boring game. It's morning. First game. I need to get warmed up. Yesterday we hosted a rapid tournament, which was fun. We had 21 players, and I finished second. Giving up one draw. There were some good games, though. It was 7+5. This is not such a bad time control. Why do you have to mention Delugi, Asterbate? Every stream you're like name dropping someone I don't like. You're like testing me. You can't say Delugi on the stream. Hans. Creepy people. Damn, what is he thinking about here? You have two options, trade queens or not trade queens. Just don't. In the words of Anatoly Lane, just don't. No, don't count. Don't do custom positions. I just play. I just try to play experimental stuff. That's too exaggerated. I liked at the time that somebody challenged me to like a custom position where they were mating me in one. I was like, dude, you're such an idiot. And I realized last week that I hate Chess 960. That's banned from the stream forever too. The concept of chess knight 60 is okay, but it's like, I don't know. I just hate it. It's just not, it's not good. Chess is like, the starting position of the chess pieces is not random, you know. There's a reason why, there are reasons why the pieces are set up the way they are. It's definitely not random. What is he doing with the time? I guess he just really likes that, just having his increments left. It's exciting. He gets like adrenaline rush by going down to his 5-second increments, even though he doesn't really have to. No matter what he does, he gets criticized, right? If he plays too fast, I criticize him for playing too quickly. Man, are you like straight up losing a pawn here? It's not a coincidence. My knight better not be trapped. You got some sort of knight c3 ideas? Right? Knight almost trapped. Yeah. It's over now. 2 pawns too many. Would you have one last chance there? If you play like knight takes knight in a5? Try to trap the knight. You have knight e8, knight c8. It's not enough. It's probably still losing, but it looks like your best shot. Wow, I played a perfect game. 4 inaccuracies. Not perfect, but close. What a great opening. Kaz. What does that remind me of? What was that? I don't know. Alright. Nice of you to play d4. I'm trying to play my Zaitsev defense. Damn. You're supposed to play knight c3 there, but I guess it's all good. This is reversed. I tried to do this with white last game. Again. He's like, again. Well, this is what it's supposed to be. This is the real thing. You were too much of a chicken to play c5, Bijak. No, not c5 now. That was not the plan. Like you messed me up with e6. This I was looking at yesterday. I mean, c5 is an idea, but a lot of people don't realize that really I want to put a knight on c5. So, okay, yesterday I looked at this. This position has been played only a handful of times, in over the board games, and almost everyone played knight h4, which was funny. The engine doesn't like that move particularly. It's not bad. So a3 is a theoretical novelty. The Igor Zaitsev defense. I mean, we can transpose to a King's Indian with g6. And c5 is an option to take with the knight, and it's a kind of Benoni. I'm not sure I really like it, though. Not sure what I like here. Not sure. I don't know. I mean, I looked at it with the engine, this defense, whatever you call it, and I was comparing it to like the normal King's Indian with Stockfish, and the Stockfish was like, this thing is like 0.9 better for white, whereas if you do like a normal King's Indian, it's something like 0.7. So basically this weird setup with like knight a6, the engine is saying it sucks just a little bit more than the normal King's Indian, which, it's not that bad. I mean, white has a space advantage. But I thought this is kind of an interesting idea. If you want to get your opponent out of book, maybe to play an early knight a6 it's not easy to find something, really offbeat. Igor Zaitsev played it in quite a few games. He's not the only one. There were a couple other players, good players. Prodigious Panda. I mean, okay, we're basically playing the Benoni now. It would be hard not for it to transpose to something. Like, it's either a King's Indian or a Benoni. Eventually, and black plays c5 or d5 or e5. Next Master Chef has followed. Coincidence? No, we had another chef. It wasn't Master Chef. It was Chef Master. What was that? Do you remember Asterbate? What was it? Chef Master? What was his name? There was someone with a similar handle. I'm getting memory loss. New advice in Canada. You're recommended only to have 2 alcoholic drinks per week, according to the health department. That seems a little excessive. Check it out. Like, Canada modified the recommendations for alcohol consumption. It went from 10 for women and 15 for men to 2 for everybody. That's kind of an extreme, like, reduction. We're not going to just slowly draw it down. Oh, King D2 would be... It's like the Bond Cloud. It's like Queen Pawn Bond Cloud. Why doesn't that exist? It probably does. The Queen Pawn Bond Cloud might be safer than the King Pawn Bond Cloud. King Pawn openings tend to be more opener because you're pushing the pawn in front of your king, obviously. pawn takes e4, bishop d7, bishop d3. And I think then it's hard for me to achieve f5. If I could achieve f5, I think that e takes f would be a good move for black here, or at least a reasonable move. But if I can't play f5 without my structure getting destroyed, forget it. You gave up a dark square bishop. I know all about that. You didn't get permission. We need a permission slip from the school nurse or your mother to trade the dark square bishop off. But I mean, I might have gotten it anyway. I probably would have gotten it anyway, ultimately. I understand your pain. Alright, now bishop g4 is an interesting move here. Or we could just play the obvious bd7. bd7 is really nothing special. Bishop g4, bishop e2. Then what do I do? Just castle. Castle, castle, or knight g1. It's a tough call. I mean, I could trade into opposite color bishop position here, and it's certainly not worse for black. I think that's a really interesting position. I mean, should black allow his bishop to be put back to d7 and give white kind of space, or should I go for this, where I'm willing to like exchange into opposite color bishops? How's my knight on a6 doing? I didn't forget you. Knight on a6. Ignored but not forgotten. Please wait. Yeah, I don't know. There's also knight b8, knight d7 to try to hold up the e5. This is really not that simple. Black is slightly better, I think, but white has a lot of space in the center, clearly. But black's dynamic chances are good. I can't castle, so let's do this. Now knight h4 is a new possibility. Formerly unavailable. The artist formerly known as unavailable. Knight h4, bishop d7, with the idea of e6. It's a Benoni. Knight h4, bishop d7, f4, e6, knight f3. And it's a 4 pawns Benoni. I don't know. You don't have a dark square bishop, but might not be that good for me. Anyway, it's an interesting strategic position. Now I have to decide. Astrobate would play bishop h5 now, like he did against me once. You remember that, Astrobate? Going here? Why would you do that? Why would you do a thing like that? Generally speaking, we have a competing principle here. That's what makes chess hard. If I have the two bishops, I should keep the pieces on the board, keep the bishop pair on the board. If I have less space, I should try to trade pieces so I'm not as cramped. So it's like a conflict of interest here. One principle says I'm supposed to trade, the other one says I'm not supposed to trade. That's why chess is a difficult game, in short. I think it largely depends on like who you're playing against, what the situation is. Do you need to win? I really could just flip a coin for that move. But bishop takes f3 is safer, definitely. What I'm concerned about is the pawn avalanche hitting me in the center. Although not that easy to execute. Could happen. Now, if f5, that's a bad idea. If I've ever had one. Ben Oni. Knight is not happy. The unhappy knight. E6 takes, knight takes, queen takes d6 is unfortunate. So I'd have to take with the bishop. Seems approximately equal. Dynamic equality. Super bishop versus space. Wow, that's a surprise. Tempting me. Is this an idea? I don't know. Doubt that's a good idea. Likely your queen would get trapped if you tried anything funky. And knight d1 seems dubious. Dubioso. No, we're threatening knight a3. We're just slightly better. Better in player. c4, bishop c3, queen h6. Yeah, and black's better now. But I think if you go back to move 16, I'm not sure that's the case here. You know, I'm not really sure if I'm better here. You played rook b1. I think you should at least seriously consider playing b4. Mistake. b4 was best. Wow, 0.9 for white. That's surprising. I think it's safe to say the computer is gonna say I should have played bishop takes f3. Damn, it did. It called it, you know. It called everything. Stockfish is teaching me chess. I know exactly what it's thinking. Yeah, after b4, I really have to really seriously consider the sad b6. But there is a more dynamic option. I looked at this. I was looking for dark squares. Like, have you seen anything on the dark squares? Have you seen any sort of tactic, anything? Please, can you find me? And the engine comes up with a5, a dark square strategy. Yeah, nice. I should have played bishop takes f3. Bishop f3. Bishop f3. And, I don't know where to put my knight. Castle. This is computer. Castle, castle, rook b8. Alright. Magnus. Stutter Master. Guys, check out my YouTube, and I should put a YouTube. Up there. YouTube, Discord, donate. YouTube, Discord, donate. Alright, Magnus Carlsen is playing. Oh, I don't do simuls. Alright. Marcus Carlsen. I bet you're not really from Norway. I don't think Marcus Carlsen is really from Norway. Let's see the opening. You see Nair Zaitsev? I literally researched this yesterday. I'm not just making this stuff up. This is too stupid to make up. There's some Lithuanian guy named Asauskas, 2300. Wow, this happened. The guy played it. The 2204 played it against Asauskas and beat him. Asauskas played e5 here. Say what? How does that work? Asauskas, what? Damn, dude. He played e5 after a3, of all things. Like, I can't put a piece on b4. How does this work? This guy didn't take the pawn. Unbelievable. Because of the b3 square. So, like, takes, and if you trade queens, I take with the rook and play knight takes e5, knight c5, like this. Here, and then like here, threatening that. It's pretty cool. So white just... Is that even sound? It's interesting. So apparently the jury's out on this. White was just too much of a chicken to go for it. Queen takes, rook takes, knight takes e5. Yeah, knight c5, bishop e3. Or even bishop g5. Good. Here, rook d1, bishop d6. But I mean, true. Black has activity. You know, he probably has reasonable amount of comp. So Shaki's here. All right. All right. Enough of knight a3, knight a6. What are we gonna play? A3, okay. Next game, A3. So anyway, Canadian recommendation for alcohol consumption is 2 drinks per week. I had 2 beers last night, so I'm like done for the week, according to the Canadian health protocol. I bet there should be a lot of memes about that. You know, you probably have like these big ass beers, like the size of like a tub or something. All right. Wow, that's a neat idea, Bishop b4. Very cool. Original. See, this is what I like. I don't like chess 960 because the pieces are on messed up squares. But playing creative openings in the proper setup is interesting. It's not like chess 960. Now, obviously, there are some issues here. Someone said something about A3. Knight C6, knight B4. You gotta watch that when the queen leaves home at an early age. You've got to watch the night before. Guys, be the first to cheer this week. Sadly, we have no cheers. Now, D6. Very correct. We could get some kind of weird French exchange. I'm gonna have to challenge the center at some point. I can't just play hypermodern chess indefinitely. F4 is interesting. F4, bishop e7 with a subtle threat. F4 is also risky. Risky and interesting at the same time. Risky and dangerous. Another symmetrical pawn structure. Yuck. Like d4, pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. Ugh. I'd rather play f4. How dangerous is it? Thematicos. Everybody makes fun of Justin Trudeau, but he's winning elections. I guess it's not his call, but I mean the health minister. It just... I was laughing because I had 2 big beers last night. I realized I hit my weekly limit. It's a good move. Used to play it in the French, of course. Oh, e4, e5? Bishop c4, bishop c5, queen g4, bishop... I thought you were talking about French. French whenever it happens. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. That's true. Yeah, it's a common idea. Not common, but not unusual. No, I mean it's his only good move. Speaking of the Vienna game, wow, acerbated to Vienna. Amazing. We transposed to the Vienna. Who would have thought? How did that happen? E4, E5, knight C3, D6, F4, pawn takes pawn, queen F3, knight F6, queen takes F4, bishop E7, something like that. It could totally happen in a Vienna move order. How's my queen doing for squares there? Knight H5, queen E3. Well, I think that's okay. I just hate chess 960, but I think unusual openings in normal chess are good. It's good. It's good to learn to play different kinds of positions. I mean, I guess objectively chess 960 is good for you too. It's like painful to play it, I just hate it. It makes me like physically ill. It's like taking medicine that's maybe good for you, but it just tastes horrible. Whereas unusual openings in normal chess is fun and it's good for you. All right. Always bring your queen out early. Remember, bishop c4. Bishop c4, c6, castles d5. I don't really like that. Maybe it's not a great idea. Copy cop. Call the cops. Copy cop. Bishop c4, c6. Bishop b3. d5. Takes. My development is really slow. I'm going to play d4. If necessary, put the bishop on d3 rather than c4. This is a totally different structure. Like knight c6, a3 is an interesting move again. But I think I have tons of moves there, actually. Okay, well, knight a6. Speaking of knight a6, cool hippos. How can you get hippos in chess 960? Like, the pieces would have to be on the right squares. How are you doing knight h5? Where did that come from? You have check. So queen d2. Queen d2 is safer than queen e3. But also does not support the d4 pawn. For whatever that's worth. I mean, should I really be worried about, like, f5? Queen e3, rook e8? So a lot of times in the Vienna, the queen... I tried to explain this to Asterbait, but I'm not sure if he's ever actually achieved it. A lot of times the queen will maneuver to, like, f2. He went for f5. Of course, I looked at this. It doesn't... It didn't. It won't. So what do? Do you take? Do you leave the tension or do you push? It's a really interesting question. There's also bishop c4 check. Stephen Shutt. Long time no see. Maybe I should play e5. What's the idea? I take back with the e-pawn? Pretty. There's a check on h4. I don't know. It's a tough call. This move wasn't my original plan. Now, you would swear this was a king's gambit. It's so funny how it became a king's gambit, isn't it? This looks kind of dangerous for my king. Reorganize. Well, the good thing about this king's gambit is that I'm not down a pawn. Most king's gambits, you're down a pawn. Queen f2. Yeah, maybe I should have considered it. But I was a little concerned about g5, g4. That's, like, not a joke. Very dynamic position. I feel like black is probably better here. Because my king is in the center, I mean, I've got to be really, really careful. One mistake and I'm like toast. I probably mishandled f5. I thought I was better, now I feel like I'm worse. Funny variation. Bishop g4, bishop h7 check. King h7, knight g5 check. Bishop takes, queen takes. Can he defend his knight on h5 and his bishop on g5 there? Anyway, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Do you want to know? You dodged a bullet. Superman style. Of course I could have played King F1. Your friendly neighborhood E-pawn. Now that's Spider-Man. Whatever. I like my E-pawn. My E-pawn is boss. No stupid jokes. The guy's challenging me while playing a simul game at the same time. Sees everything. The guy literally sees everything. Don't care. What? What happened to his queen? Did he sacrifice it or just like miss that? Still not so simple. Unfortunately. He has like bishop f5 here. Maybe I'm winning, but it's awkward to defend the a2 pawn. Exactly. Bishop f5, knight h4. I'm winning. Yeah, but he totally unnecessarily sacked his queen. Wow. I played better than I thought. It was such a sketchy position, I thought I must have made a blunder at some point. 4 inaccuracies. It's hard to believe. Wow. This was actually not a bad game. No, that's a fun opening we got there. The engine thought I should have played d4, but I thought this was just like really lame. But apparently it's good for white. I underestimated this exchange French. It was a pretty good game by both sides, then we got in time pressure. This was a mistake. But I think this was the critical moment in the game where I messed up. The engine hates e5. But I didn't like the other options. Man, I really thought he's active here. But apparently he's too far behind in development. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I knew this was a critical moment. While the computer wants to castle kingside. I thought it was like suicide. But I missed an idea here. I thought this is bad. I have queen e4. Queen e4. g6. Knight takes e5. I can keep this pawn on d4. Anyway, interesting game, Shockey. That was a good game. People are sickly. They cannot discern. We get a 10 plus 5 from Frederick. Alright. Let's do it. Guys, please be the first to cheer this week. We've had a very sad week. Donate to support the stream so I can continue to do this. Every little donation helps. If you can't afford to donate, just spam the chat. Weird. Not A6. Weird opening is Wednesday. Just spam. Spam. A donation of spam, please. Weird openings Wednesday. One spam. Spam Nation. Well, this is basically the reverse of what I just played. For whatever it's worth, I've played it before. Spam worst. But Staffvargan are forever paying, but I don't know how. I haven't seen Staffvargan in weeks. That's what happened. They took him away. The debt collectors took him away. Now you know how. Nils just subscribed. Alright, we got a sub. You want to analyze the most boring game ever played? You just have to donate like a minimum of 100 bits. I have no cheers this week. We need a pity donation. Thank you for subscribing, Nils. Yeah, I love analyzing boring games. And I know you can't make it tomorrow night. Alright. What am I thinking about? I mean, the point was to play d5. Nils just resubscribed for 35 months, dude. Thanks for being a consistent subscriber, seriously. I didn't realize you've been so consistently subscribing. Even in your downtime, when you weren't here, you know, for a long time. That's awesome, thank you. But it's good to see Nils back to playing chess again. Personally, I don't love e5 for white there. Now what do we get? We get a Nimzovich. He can't play for personal reasons. Are you sure that Staffvargan's not your alternate personality, Tabias? Is it possible you have multiple personality disorder? By any chance? You know so much about Staffvargan. It's almost eerie. You're very close. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Eerie. As much as I want to take with the queen or something, I think, developing a minor piece is probably the right idea here. Okay, it's like, what is that called? The board is upside down. Knight b4. Uh-oh. That looks like a good move. How strong is Federico? Of course he lives in Gavle. Dude, don't like... Don't reveal anyone's location. Elon Musk might kick you off of Twitter. Loci. So what do you want to do? Maybe, I'm not sure. I guess we're doing bishop d6. A lot of times you'll see white play bishop e5 here to fight for the Nimzabitchian Joe Biden. Poor Joe. Never gets a break. Alright. Not going to get entrenched in that discussion. Whatever happens, it's like... we didn't have a choice. Alright. No one's saying Joe Biden was the greatest president ever or something, but the world just had no other option at that point. Castles. New Sweden. New Sweden, man. New Sweden is like in, New Sweden is like in frickin' Lindsborg, Kansas, bro. You're in the wrong state. All the Swedish immigrants are out in like the frickin' Midwest, dude. I went to Lindsborg, Kansas. All your relatives are over there. Not Delaware. All the Swedes have gone west, bro. I heard that Sweden is now under suspicion from the Russians for the... Sweden is the #1 candidate for blowing up the gas pipeline in the North Sea. You guys are under suspicion. It's definitely conspiracy theory confirmed. It must have been the Swedish. I forgot what a troll Tabius was. It's harder to deal with English as a second language trolls. Yeah, this was my plan. Because a lot of times context doesn't come off right if you're not perfect in a language. Even the internet doesn't... Yeah, the Wallenbergs, you talked about this before. Here we go. This is not the place and time for this. You need like a right-wing conspiracy website or something like that. You should go to like 4chan. Nils invited me to study with the game. Alright. Alright, bro, we gotta wait till this is over. Did you guys hear that George Soros canceled going to Davos? Speaking of conspiracy theories, apparently he like never misses this economic forum or whatever. Could be sick. He's like way up in his, isn't he like over 80? Ooh, all the right wing like anti-Semites are gonna go crazy. Orban is probably having an orgasm. All right, Orbanism. But according to like conspiracy theorists, Soros George is probably like a reptilian or something. Therefore, he can't die. So that wouldn't make sense. I mean, Soros George is a reptilian. I'm just saying the news. Knight takes d4. Yesterday it was mentioned that Soros strangely wasn't going to Davos. Knight d4, knight d4, queen takes g5. Knight d4, bishop takes f6. Knight takes ef3 check. This looks okay. I'm a little creeped out about this because I don't have any development. Other than that, we're good though. Tactic. Both sides have decided not to develop their queen sides. You know, the interesting thing is the history between Viktor Orban and Soros George. Like, Soros George helped Orban to, like, get an education and go to, like, Oxford or whatever. It's ironic that, that he's, like, his arch enemy now. A lot of people don't know that. Early Orban was actually befriended by Soros before Orban became evil. Nord Stream, of course, the USA that blew up. Yeah, of course. Obviously. That's what they said in the Serbian news anyway. Yeah, that's a weird one. I don't understand how that makes sense for either side, but you're detracting from the focus of chess here. You got me joking about politics, but I have to refocus because I'm not here to talk about politics. World events, we should say. World events rather than politics necessarily. It's okay, but the main focus is chess, and then secondarily we can joke about world events. Secondarily. Let's just not forget the main focus is on the chess part here. Yeah, I mean, so still, Orban doesn't care about if Sweden's in NATO. He's just like, he'll use anything he can to like blackmail NATO and the European Union to get things he wants. All right. Which any evil political leader would do, obviously. Any good evil leader. Erdogan is doing the same thing. He's also evil. Alright. So we're slightly better now. Better development. Opposite color bishops. Strong pawn on d5. You'd have to be stupid not to take advantage of the opportunity to blackmail when it's Tabias, are you sure you're not from Serbia? Getting to suspect. You're not right wing, but NATO is evil? Okay. You must have immigrated to Sweden from somewhere else. You got like the straight up Serbian propaganda going on. I should say like Russian propaganda. It's all the same thing. Russo-Orthodox propaganda. This guy's pretty good. 1563 bullet. I really didn't want to trade queens, but I practically forced him to go for that. Well, naturally, people are drawn to the best place. What do you expect? If you have the best country in the world, you know. I saw this funny article about some woman who immigrated with her family from Finland to Italy. Some rich Finnish woman and her husband immigrated from Finland to Italy because they didn't like how cold it was in Finland. Then she goes to Italy and she's like complaining about the schools and shit. It's like, dude, what a Karen, you know, seriously. You come from this really rich country and then, you know, you don't like the climate, it's too cold. And then it's like the Three Bears or whatever. Then you go to Italy and start complaining about their school system. What a Karen, seriously. You can't have everything. Finland and Sweden and Norway probably have like some of the best standard of living in the world. Is it like surprising when people want to immigrate there? Do they want to immigrate to Hungary? Not so much. Right, and Finland probably has like the best school system in the world. And this woman is like complaining about the Italian school system. Yeah, dude, they don't have any money, so how are they supposed to have a school system rivaling like Finland when everyone's like standard of living is so much lower? Of course the school system's not going to be as good as Finland. What the hell did you expect? You should see the school system in Hungary. You know, they do the best they can, but they don't have any money. It's like the medical system. Surprised she doesn't go to the Italian hospitals and complain. The medical care is not as good as in Finland. Well, yeah, if you don't have money, it's kind of hard. De-immigration. This game was a long one. I really shouldn't accept a 10 plus 5. But this guy is awfully good for 1500 bullet. No? I might be able to eke out a win here, but I'm not sure. Don't have enough, really. Wow. That's got to be a mistake, right? How strong is this guy? I don't know, he's kind of sus. I don't see how you're like... really strong. For his rating. Now what am I going to do? Take with the knight? Take with the knight. We're trying to get blood from the stone here. The Philosopher's Stone. We have a queenside majority versus kingside majority. Tiniest advantage ever. Friedrich. Alright, we got a Thursday game submission from Asterbait. And Please is the master. Nils' game up next. In lieu of Thursday. Lulu. We're gonna build the wall. Build the wall. Yeah, Friedrich Friedel and chess base is garbage. Wow. What am I gonna do? You're telling me this player is like 1563 in bullet? Yeah, you need to wall with Russia. Keep the tanks out. I mean, Finland, they need a Russia wall. Look at this G5 move with no time. I mean, that guy's awfully good for his supposed ratings. Speaking of conspiracy theories, it doesn't make any sense this player could possibly be 1563 in bullet. That was obviously 6 years ago or something. Too late to keep the Vikings in. Yeah, we won a drawn position. But he played really, really well for his rating in that game. Achieving a drawn ending and losing because of time. I mean, I played my hardest and I just barely won. After G5, I wasn't sure I was even winning. Probably not. G5 is an exclamation point, right? They're both good, actually. So he could have simply just played GH as well. But I think both moves are good. This is a thinking move, like G5. You played like you were 2100. Alright, I gotta go over Nils's game. You played like 2100. Alright, so we assume Nils is black here, I hope. Yeah, you know the London's coming. When they play knight f3. But Nils is playing the Grunfeld. So I would say, like, if the opponent is under 2000, like, they're definitely going to play the London. If it's a thinking player over 2000, then maybe they're just trying to, you know, use this move order. Alexander CL, thanks for resubscribing. So, assuming the London's coming, you're playing G6 anyway, so you might as well just play it. Bishop F4. Now, there's one thing about this position. You know, they might do like a Jabava style London with knight to C3. But I guess it's not as good with the knight already committed to F3. So I'm just thinking, is there any reason for Nils to not play Bishop G7? He's a Grunfeld player. With a Grunfeld, as a Grunfeld player, You could play d5, but I don't, I'm not sure there's any advantage in doing that necessarily. Is there any reason for him to play this, versus just bishop g7? So if your opponent plays knight c3 here, you gotta play d5. As a Grunfeld player, you've gotta play d5. If you were... the only people who don't play d5 here are those who are capable of playing the Pierce Modern. Even the normal King's Indian player pretty much has to play d5 here. But after e3, you've got like the typical passive London. So I think because you play the Grunfeld doesn't mean you have to play the London like a Grunfeld either. So there's lots of options here. My personal favorite is to play c5. I also like double fianchetto with b6. Playing the Grunfeld, a lot of players are used to a d5 structure, so Nils is okay to do that. This does make sense, though. You're nullifying the bishop on f4. But it's well known that against this type of King's Indian setup, I thought the London players are supposed to be recommended to play c4 here. I worked a lot with Roman Chigiashvili. Roman would always do c4. But maybe this particular move order has some kind of problem. You can go after that bishop. Here, 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 g5. You take out his bishop. He hasn't had time to play h3. In fact, okay, so maybe after d6 he should play h3. This is the correct move order for white. h3 first, securing bishop h2. Then he plays c4. Well, I'm gonna say something here that's probably relevant, I don't know if you should play d6. If you want to opt for a Benoni setup, maybe you ought to just keep d6 in reserve. You can castle, or you can play c5 right away. But I guess my point is, I don't see a lot of... If you're not going to go for d6 and e5, I don't see a lot of need for d6. d6 can be a waste of time. So if you want to play for c5, you can go ahead and do it. I don't know if we have time for another game. We'll see. But I've got a challenge already. I don't know. Ken De Los Santos. We'll see. Knight on bd2. This is very passive by white. Yeah, he should definitely play h3. But I'm saying, Nils, you don't have to play d6. You don't need to play d6 to play c5. You need d6 if you want to play e5, which is almost impossible to achieve anyway against this setup. This is very popular, d6, h3, castles, this kind of stuff where they do knight fd7, and then they'll try to force through e5. You can do that if you really, really want to play e5. My game would only take about 2 minutes after we get it checkmated. Yeah, you're the next game. But maybe you do knight h5 here. Technically you're supposed to play knight h5 now. He can induce some weaknesses, but yeah. See, they don't even have this. Sometimes they have that. Knight fd2. He doesn't even have that move here. Attacking your knight on h5. Well, that's one of my teammates, Gala Ishvan. He's playing the London all the time. No, you grab his bishop. You don't have to take it right away, though. Wow, Raf Apple versus Garry Kasparov. That's like a German master simul against Garry Kasparov. That's sad, dude. It's really sad to play the London system against Kasparov. I just want to clear the air and say that you get a chance to play Garry Kasparov and you play the London system against him. You should have your chess license taken away from you. That is truly sad. Alright. Have your mastership taken away. Anyways, castles. Alright, c3. You should still do knight h5. This is standard. Queen c2 is bad. Why would white play queen c2? I'll tell you why. Because some idiot teaches people to play, like, with YouTube videos. You know, there's some people out there, every little kid from all over the world is like, they think the London system is an attacking system where you like put all your pieces on this diagonal and you sacrifice stuff with h4, h5 and castle queenside. Who is teaching people to do that? I'd like to know. I'd like to get them and, like, you know, smack them around. Like, who the heck teaches people to do that? Like, seriously. Is it Eric Rosen? Like, I mean, where is this coming from? You know? Why do people think it's normal to castle queenside into London and sacrifice pieces on g6 for checkmate? You know? It's ridiculous. It's garbage. You know? White is, like, gonna get rolled. The entire idea is not to castle queenside and attack black on the king side with a London system, you know. So now you played CD. You're lucky. You're lucky your opponent didn't play this, man. You know, seriously. I mean, still black is good, but I hate it when that happens. So probably here you should, you know, continue to go for his bishop. Although this might actually be an annoyance now. It's tough to judge if you should go for that bishop. I might also not do it now. You've got e5 probably. I would be surprised if this wasn't at least an option. Hello, Mr. King. How are you doing? That's the problem, no? I mean, that looks spicy. e5 is very dangerous for white. And bishop f5. If this opens up, dude, look at his queen is gonna get hit by that. Who cares about pawns? People are too materialistic. Yeah, you should have just blasted in with e5 right away. Of course, now he plays the chicken move. What do you expect? He could have played queen b3. But I would say, like, you made a mistake, because you're actually... His queen is on a bad square. Alright? And I think, like, you're developing, but you're also kind of, like, almost forcing him to put it on a better one. Or trade pieces, which is also good for him if he wants a draw. The last thing you want to do against this guy... The last thing you want to do against the chicken is to, like, trade pieces, because they're happy now. You're trading pieces against the chicken. Yeah, you're equal, but... One last piece to checkmate him with. Now e5 results in a trade of queens. I would look at this. But he might have d5. You could just play knight on bd7. But the position is only equal now. I kind of like to set up like knight bd7, b6, queen c7, queen b7, or something like that. But it's totally equal. After you traded that bishop off. Also, you doing like a fianchetto is very standard. This guy's happy to trade pieces, and he also doesn't mind at this point, trading this. It's not a question of bishop pair anymore. So, you're basically like headed for Drawville. The right idea, bro, but it's too late. It's too late. Too little, too late. Not enough pieces on the board. Your dark square bishop is pretty limited. In fact, now it might be better not to even do it, to be honest with you. You're going to have to beat him in some kind of end game if you're going to beat this guy. He's higher rated than you. Well, I don't care what he is, but he's a chicken and plays the London system. You should be trying to beat him anyway. But e5, it's your bishop is bad, and he has like 2 knights against bishop and knight in a closed position. It's equal still, even though you have a bad bishop. He played very, very fearfully, but I guess that's standard for this type of opening. Okay, kudos for avoiding trade of queens. Of course, you kind of have to. I like this move because you're controlling the center. Obviously, the queen a6 is a move. Yeah, this is bad. I don't like a5. It's very bad for you positionally. He's going to play a4. He should have played a4, and he can lock down like a light square bind. You definitely shouldn't put any more pawns on dark squares. You already have the e5 pawn on a dark square. And the d5 square and the e4 square are weak. So this just makes like more light square weaknesses. It's really hard to play for a win here, but I think your only chance is like the kingside pawn majority. What you have to do somehow is play like h6, f5, and e4. If you can somehow get that in, you have chances. This is okay now, though. I mean, if you can get in b5 and b4, maybe a5 isn't so bad. He's really stupid not to play a4. No, I'm telling you, the plan was to expand your kingside. Well, it's not even a kingside majority. Yeah, it's a kingside majority. You're supposed to play on your majority. Oof. Damn, dude. Yeah, at this point, what happened? You play b4. Yeah, you're like worse now. What was the last move? Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I would have like gone for a trade of queens, probably. Queen and knight is a better combination than queen and bishop. He could mess you up with that queen. I'll take this endgame and just try to like draw. I don't know. Are you in trouble? It doesn't look great. I don't know. Maybe. But whatever you do, I don't know. Yeah, this is unpleasant now. Maybe you can play this move. Something to keep him off of d5. a5 was a really bad move, though. Now he's clearly better. I don't know if you can play this. You ought to play h6 at some point, man. To keep him off of g5. And ultimately play f5 yourself. That was good you got that in, though. Wow. Wow, that was terrible for white. So he gave you exactly what you wanted. Now his knight is on h3. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. Wow. He totally screwed up. Now you're like clearly better. Or at least better. The knight on h3 is sick. It wasn't such a boring game as you made it out to be, actually. You get an e4. You're good. You could have played it here. I mean, I guess the question is, like, why didn't you? Yeah. Black's king, well, I mean, weak. What's attacking it? You know, here. E4 looks pretty good, man. I mean, I don't know. This looks really good for you. You're plus 1.6. Wow, you had a forced win with knight e4. Oh my god. You're just winning material. I didn't even see it. I was just looking for e4, so I missed knight e4. Yeah, he played really bad in the second half of this game. So you got it. Yeah. Yeah, he just, like, rolled over and died. Was, like, the guy in time pressure or something around move 30? Move 25, and why did he, like, start to just, like, disintegrate? He had a really good position, like, at this moment. When he got queen d5 and he has you in a bind. Seriously, if he plays, like, g4 here... Only white is, like, clearly better. And... look at that. Queen and 2 knights. Oh, he had queen d7. Right, he has this move too. Yeah, potentially. He has a huge advantage here. Jesus is just winning. Knight f6 check. Yeah, so bishop f8 is a tragic blunder. You have to play h6, preventing that, and now g4. And he's still better. Yeah, you're very lucky. He just, like, totally melted down between, like, move 25 and move 40. How can the guy, like, let his knight go back? His knight gets pushed back to h3. That was terrible. Alright, guys. Let's try another challenge here. Weird Openings Wednesday. Thanks, Nils, for the game. Guys, I don't have much time left. Maybe 20, 25 years at the most. So I'm only taking, like... oh shit, I gotta go. No, I really gotta go. I might not be able to even play this game. I forgot I have to leave early today. I didn't set my alarm, masturbate. Yeah, sorry guys, I gotta go. I'm gonna try to play... I might have to resign early though. I only have 10 minutes. Tomorrow night is subscriber stream. Nils, thanks for your donation in lieu of Thursday. He just tipped $10. If I can make it to 75, I would be really happy. Wow, 95? Immediate 95. This looks looking like something Asterbait would play. A little early for the 95. I've never seen anyone do that. But I seriously have to leave in 10 minutes, guys, so whatever. Whatever happens between then and now. Thank you, Nils, very generously donating $10. As well as subscribing. So he made our day. Dude, the London is a plague, man. You got to be well prepared for it. What that opponent played there was very standard. The plague. Plague lands. Yeah, if we don't get enough financial support, I might have to start like streaming Hearthstone or something. So thanks for the donation from Nils. Nils can teach me how to play Counter-Strike or whatever. He's constantly playing some kind of shooter game. Wow, that's very hyper modern of black here. I think casting queenside is called for. Cultivated. Wow. Call of Duty, my bad. I'm sorry. I know that like you guys who do the shooter games are offended if someone like calls it the wrong game. I said Counter-Strike. My daughter's like playing Counter-Strike or something. I get all confused. Alright guys, I gotta leave in like 7 minutes. Unfortunately. Thomas Steinson, welcome. Wednesday is my early day. I gotta leave early. No tactics here, unless I want to sacrifice a piece. Wait a minute. We do have this. I mean, that's not really a tactic. Trade. Yeah, white has a massive space advantage. Massive. We gotta go early today. We got a lot of viewers. Thanks guys for tuning in. Tomorrow, Hearthstone. One of these days, I'll start gaming. I only started playing chess so I could become a Twitch gamer. Little did I know 35 years ago when I started to take chess very seriously. It was all for that reason. You will one day be a famous chess gaming streamer. Chess and gaming streamer. Thomas Steinson, tonight OTB tournament game. Streaming recap tomorrow. Very good. Good luck. I changed my mind about castling queenside. We had a really huge advantage, but it's slightly evaporated. Evaporated. I just moved that bishop, now I'm moving it again. Tomorrow night subscriber stream. I'm gonna have to like leave early here. I have to leave in 4 minutes. I'm not a greedy person. I had the tactic knight 66 there, but didn't like my development. Didn't like queen b6 check. Guess you actually have a dream to go to the right. I had a dream I was bit by a spider right before I woke up. What does that mean? A spider bit my right hand. It was like crawling along the floor, and my right hand started to go numb. Anyone? Dream interpretation? What is that from? You missed your life calling Roe. Very Spider-Man. You missed your life calling. Your life calling. This is your life calling. Damn it, dude. I'm just gonna... I have to go. I have to go, bro. Go, bro. De Los Santos played a really weird opening. And now he's, like, coordinating. Tiny ducking buttons autocorrect hates me. Ducky buttons. I was like, what is row? I thought it was some weird pop term that I was unfamiliar with, and I just played it safe by not calling you out on it. Astrobate does that all the time. I never watch Twitch on my phone or use my phone. I'm terrible. I'm terrible with texting, and it's like a joke. The best is like texting in Hungarian. That way I can make grammatical mistakes and click the wrong letters and stuff. Little Ro Peep. Shit. I was looking for knight f6, but I'm distracted because I have to leave soon. Yeah, I miss a lot of one-move tactics. It's pretty common. Pretty common for me. I literally was counting on that for like a couple moves, and then it didn't work. And now it works and I don't play it. Yeah, now Black's like hanging on. He's using all of his time. This is our last game, guys. I gotta go. He hung a piece. I offered a draw and he hung a piece. It's pretty funny. Oh shit, he can take the draw after I made my move. Oh crap. Alright, he got the draw. I gotta go, guys. I offered the draw before he hung the piece. Then he hung the piece and accepted the draw. I was like, okay. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Interesting draw. Bye-bye, guys.